Okay guys, let's get this one done. 2 equal factors is a perfect square, F. Number that can be expressed as 3 equal factors is E, a perfect cube. The number 5 is the base. One of 2 equal factors of a number is a square root. The number 2 is an exponent. Product of primes is G, prime factorization. And one of 3 equal factors is B, a cube root. D, it's irrational. E, it's an index. A, it's a radicand. The product of 1 and a radical is an entire radical. The product of a rational number and a radical is a mixed radical. That's an irrational number because of the 3 dots. And that is an entire radical. Add the exponents. Multiply. Zero. Reciprocal. Root 15. So that means we are looking for the power of 4, so you could say you're looking for the 4th root of 1024, and then break it down to 512 to 256 to 128 to and so on and so on and so on, and then you find out that it is 4 to the 5th. The edge length of a cube is the cube root of 343, which is of course 7. The value of x that makes this true is going to be -3, because if it's -3 it will flip to 3 over 4 to the 3rd, which would be 27 over 64. That is 81 times 5 under the radical, which is 8 times 5 is 400, 405, 4th root 405. When expressed as a power, so that is m squared over n cubed, all to the 1/3. You could also multiply that in to get m to the 2/3 over n, because you're going to multiply that in there. Prime factorization 9604, you're just going to break it down to, you can go, since it's equal, you can go, or since it's even, you can go with 2's, and that's going to be 4,802, and then 2 again, and so on and so on and so on. I will switch to this 9604, 802, 2 again, 2401, and then there you're going to have to start getting, what am I trying to say here? You're going to have to start getting creative with your factoring. 2 and 4 and 1 is 7, so 3 won't work, 5 won't work. And then you just keep going. And you need to be aware that it might very well be a prime number. So I'm going to come back to that because I don't have my calculator with me, and we'll get on with that later. I'll check my actual key. Write, evaluate an expression. So square is that, square B is that. So A is 5.1 squared plus 3.5 squared. And then you're going to evaluate that with your calculator. And then for B, 4.3 squared plus 9.3 squared. And then you're going to do those with your calculator. I'm not going to bother. Simplify that. A squared BC 4. There's A squared. Oops, I didn't want to do it that way. This is all squared, so I need to deal with inside the brackets first. So that's A3, B4, C6, and all that is squared over, down here, B6, C15. So up top, A6, B8, C12, B6, C15, and then A6 stays up there, B squared positive stays up there, over C3 because it has to go to the denominator. Order them from least to greatest. I would of course make them all entire radicals, so that's the cubed root of 40, square root 30, square root 64, and square root 54. And then I would order them least to greatest. Cubed root of 40, you know, is just a little bit more than 3. So that's 3. Square root of 30, you know, is a little bit more than 5. Square root of 64 is 8. And square root of 54 is a little bit more than 7. So you put them in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Entire radical and mixed radical. So root 45, 9 times 5, 3 root 5. Cube root 40, 8 times 5, 2 cube root 5. Root 243, 381, 9 root 3. Express each radical as a power. Remember, the index becomes the denominator. There's A. B is x4 over y3 all to the 1/2, which you could redraw as x2 over y to the 3/2. And C is 64n to the 4th all to the 3. If the number rolled is odd, the contestant must leave the game. There's 8 contestants. So, after one turn, 4 are gone. You have to assume that because it's 50-50. After the second turn, 2 are gone. And after the third turn, 1 is gone. So you're ready to go then. Simplify this. It's a little hard to read on your guys' work. So this is what Amy did. 0.25, 0.75, added them together to get -1, which is 1 over 3. Is that okay? Well, let's check. Where's the mistake? Right there. She added. We subtract. So it's 3 to the -0.25 0.25 over 3 to the negative 0.75. Negative 0.25 minus 0.75 is 3 to the positive 0.5, which is 3 to the 1/2, which is root 3. And then we're done.